There's a couple of teams in the NHL that have really struggled throughout the past couple of years. You got teams like the Arizona Coyotes, the Edmonton Oilers, who have really struggled over the past few years. But what the Edmonton Oilers, what the Arizona Coyotes have is they have promise. They have young players coming up. They have a lot of promise, and one day they will be a good team. You have a look here at Edmonton Oilers. They have Hall, Nugent-Hopkins, Everly, McDavid, Yakupov. All those guys are under like 24 years old, and they're going to be elite players in the NHL. And you look at a team like the Minnesota Wild, filled with young guys, got a couple mixed veterans team. But then you got teams that really need a new face. They need a new identity. They're known as that team that either lost in the Stanley Cup Finals, or they're that team that needs some new blood, needs to do a complete rebuild. And I was thinking of what team that could be, and it didn't take me very long to realize that team is the Vancouver Canucks. So welcome guys to episode number 1 of our NHL 16 Legacy BAGM mode with the Vancouver Canucks. So I chose Vancouver for tons of reasons. The first reason is, as a Vancouver fan, I am completely and utterly fed up with the organization. Something needs to give. We have some pieces in place. We have a few young guys, but we're still relying on old veterans. We're still relying on the Ryan Millers, on the Daniel and Henriks. We're still relying on the, not really NHL defensemen like Matt Bartowski, who is not an NHL defenseman in my opinion, but he's getting top 4 minutes on the Vancouver Canucks. So this team needs a new identity. From being a lifelong Vancouver Canucks fan, I've seen a lot. I've had my heart broken a few times. I would say twice, but the last time the Canucks went to the Cup, aside from 2011, I was only 1. So I'm sure my 1-year-old heart was pretty smashed to pieces when the Rangers won that cup there against the Canucks. But I've had my heart broken time in and time again by the Vancouver Canucks, by either shitty trades or by bad free agent signings, or still relying on the veterans. And I'm here to change that. I am definitely here to make this team a completely different organization. And I'm stoked for this. This is going to be a challenge. This is going to be something that we're going to have to do together. It's going to be a lot of fun. So quickly, let's just address the team really quickly here. So Daniel and Henrik, you guys, obviously I don't need to say much about them. They are franchise pieces to this team. They've been here since 99. Obviously the second and the third picks overall, and the first overall pick was actually Patrick Stefan, and he did absolutely nothing. But the Twins are generational talent. So got 1,000 games played, but the thing is, they need a cup. They deserve to win a cup, absolutely, and it's not gonna happen here in Vancouver yet. By the time we're ready to win the cup, these guys will be long gone. So there comes the big question. Could we trade the Twins in year number 1? Trade them to a contender? Trade them to someone like the Stars? The Stars have quite a bit of cap, and they could definitely hold on to the Twins. But I want to rebuild smart. I just don't want to go trade for first round picks and, get Auston Matthews. I'm not saying Auston Matthews is not a viable option, but I don't want to just go ahead and completely fire sale the team quite yet. I'm not going to make a trade or do any of that until I hear from you guys, but my initial plan is simulate probably 30 games without making a trade, having the lineup that we have right now, and seeing where we're at. Miraculously, if we're doing pretty good, I'll keep the team as it is. If we somehow make the playoffs, I'll be like, great, that's awesome, and then we'll retool in the offseason, because the Twins are not getting any younger. They're 34, about to be 35 in the middle of this year, and it's all downhill from there. They're still going to put up 60 to 70 points, but This is something that I'm passionate about. I love the Twins more than anyone. Like, growing up watching these guys has been an absolute treat, and to trade them is definitely going to be hard. But you're going to look at their right winger here, Redeem the Dream Verbata. Again, kind of in the same boat, except he has 1 year left on his contract, and he's going to be a UFA. So if we decide to either give him another contract and be like a 36-year-old coming into next year, I'm not quite sure that's the best type of deal. Verbata's been a good NHLer, 527 points. He's a 20-goal 60-point guy with the Twins, which is awesome. Maybe 30 goals, but I think that shipping off Verbata either at the trade deadline or at the draft would be a smart idea. Actually, not at the draft, because you can't do it because he's going to have 1 year on his contract. And then pretty much after that, the team's fucked. You're going to look at Alexander Burrows here, and on any other team, he is a below-average third liner. I love Burr. I think he plays really, really hard. I like him as a player, but for what he's making, 4.3 and putting up, if we play him on the third line this year, he's going to get 20 to 25 points, and that is not worth $4.3 million. So you're probably going to say goodbye to Alexander Burrows. Brandon Sutter is a guy I don't mind having. He's a really good third liner, but he's definitely not a second liner, which is going to be held on by Bo Horvat. We'll get to him in a minute. Chris Higgins here, again, really good third liner, maybe a second liner. Doesn't have a terrible contract. He's going to put up 15 to 20 goals. He's decent. We might hang on to Chris Higgins, but there's tons of other options out there, and I honestly wouldn't mind if we got rid of everyone on this team and completely started from scratch, do an absolute rebuild with this squad. Prust is a guy who's very easily replaceable. He's a good dude to have on the fourth line. He brings a lot of energy, can hit, so I don't mind hanging on to Prust. Again, we've already talked about Brandon Sutter. We can talk about Bo Horvat here, who is promising. I know in this game he doesn't get that great, but he could definitely be a career third line shutdown forward for us, which isn't a bad thing. Bo Horvat's awesome, and in real life I expect him to be a lot better than a third liner, but in this game I've seen him grow to like an 86 max. Definitely see what's in store for us here with Bo Horvat. He's a 4 Green Star player, which is really, really nice. And then Jannik Hansen here, I love him. I have no problem keeping Jannik Hansen and paying him $2.3 million. I have absolutely no issue with that. He's quick, he can go on the penalty kill, he's going to get you 30 to 35 points. I have no problem with keeping Jannik Hansen on our third line. And Virtanen and McCann, doesn't really matter. They're not playing on the team this year. They're too young in my opinion. We're going to send them back down to junior just for this year. Jake Virtanen is a stud. He's going to be an absolute stud for us. He's a 76 overall sniper at 4 Green Stars. He's going to be something really special, as well as Jared McCann. He's pretty much in the exact same boat. Can definitely be a career second liner for us. He's got 6 stats and he's only 19. So those guys are definitely going to play in the minors. Dorsett, again, pretty easily replaceable. He's making 2.5, which is quite a bit for an 80 overall grinder, but I like him. I like Derek Dorsett, but that's pretty much my thoughts for the offense. I have like 50% of me wants to just trade everyone right now and completely start over, because you look in our division and we're going up against teams like Edmonton and Calgary and San Jose, and they all have young players like Thomas Hurdle. You're going to go up against Hurdle and Thornton one night, and then you got to go up against Hall and McDavid the next, and then you got to go up against Goudreau and Sean Monahan. Like, we're just going to get stomped on. There's no way about it. We're going to get absolutely killed, and then you got to go face LA with Lucic and Kopitar and Doughty, and it's a disaster. We are by far the worst team in the division, and that's all right. That's not a bad thing. Honestly, half of this rant is because the Canucks are doing so poorly right now in real life, and I'm just pissed off. But defense here, Alexander Edler. We might hang on to Edler. He's 29 years old. He's making a bit of money, 4.8, but for what he does, I think he's worth the cash. If we pair him with another top 2 guy, not necessarily Dan Hamhuis, because Hammer has 1 year left on his contract, making 4.3. He's definitely a player we could trade for a first round pick, no question about that. So Hammer is probably going to be on the outs. Lucas Spiza definitely going to be on the outs. This guy is AIDS on skates. He is terrible, making 3.4 for 3 years. Terrible contract, and he's worth pretty much nothing. I'll probably get rid of him for like a 5th round pick. Now, Chris Tanev, on the other hand, is a player that I will probably keep for the entire GM mode. What's not to like about this guy? His defense is 4.5 star. That's excellent. 95 discipline on this guy. His skating is average. His shot could use a little bit of work, but he's still 25. Got the 4 stars. He's making 4.3 for the next 5 years. That's not a bad contract. An undrafted steal by the Vancouver Canucks. That's awesome. I really, really like Chris Tanev. And then Bartowski. In real life, this guy's an excellent skater, but his hands could not keep up. I'm not a huge fan at all. Again, he's easily exchangeable. And then Yannick Weber, which is not a bad guy to slot in if you have an injury or if you need a guy on the power play. He's got a wicked slap shot, but he's again a guy who's easily replaceable. And then moving on to the goalies, which could potentially be the most dangerous part of this team. Dangerous in the fact that it's not good. We're relying on a 35-year-old aging superstar in Ryan Miller. Again, Ryan Miller and the Twins, they deserve a cup. Ham Hughes deserves a cup. All these guys have paid their dues in the NHL. They deserve a Stanley Cup, and I hope to give that to them on another team. It's not going to happen with us. I think you guys are understanding here. I am definitely down for a rebuild, and it's different because I'm a huge Vancouver Canucks fan. Obviously, they're my team. I'm from Vancouver. They're my team, so I'm not going to do this in a stupid way. I'm going to do this smart, and I'm going to need my assistant GMs to help me out. That is you guys, obviously. But Ryan Miller was a beast back in the day. Again, he's 35 years old now. He's in the same boat as the Twins. He deserves a cup. He's still good. It's not like he's a bad goalie at all. He still deserves a Stanley Cup, just like the rest of those guys, and I don't think it's technically going to happen with us. But the simulation is a bit crazy. We could go on absolute tear. We could really rip it up and go to the playoffs with this team. But like I said, I'm gonna stay within the 30 game mark and see kind of where we're at. I definitely want to get your guys' opinion on this, but here is our rookie skaters, Virtanen and McCann. Obviously, the 2 players we're going to be building around, I guess Bo Horvat as well. Ben Hutton, way better than he is in real life, 78 overall. Probably not going to be anything. He's 4 red stars. Might get up to like 81, 82, maybe be like a Yannick Weber type player. And Cole Castles, 69 overall, legendary son of Andrew Castles, who used to play for the Canucks in like the 90s to early 2000s. Cole Castles has the skill. He's got 3.5 stars, so he's someone who we can definitely keep on to and grow him in the minors. Hunter Shinkaruk is a guy who's got really good potential, but it's red potential, so there's potential for him to grow, but I'm not banking on him being a legit NHL player. Then aside from that, nothing else really looks that special. I'm not sure any of these guys are going to be NHL players. There's a few guys who have, decent potential, but nothing really to write home about. So no rookie goalies in the system. My plan is to pretty much build like, I guess, the Anaheim Ducks. They have prospects. They have a sick team. They have a prospect at every single position. They have prospect goaltenders in John Gibson. They have rookie skaters. They have lots. They have prospects at defensemen. They have the team built for right now as well for the future. There's a lot of teams who I want to kind of model after, and we kind of gotta find a team that has a lot of cap space, but still would be a suitable destination for the Twins and Verbata, and obviously for Ryan Miller, because I really just don't want to trade Henrik to like Florida, because they could probably take that. Well, not even. I mean, you kind of have to trade them together, but I don't want to trade them to New Jersey because they're obviously not going to win a cup in New Jersey. They have to go to like the Islanders, or Ottawa's kind of in the mix. Or I'm thinking more along Pittsburgh. We could probably get like Sprong and like another player. Like we get a prospect, and we could get a really good player as well. So, Winnipeg is a team that in a couple years could win a Stanley Cup. They're sick. They have lots of cap space. We might send the Twins there, but then again, you have to trade both of the Twins to a team. You cannot separate these guys. And all the teams that are ready to win a cup don't really have the cap space. Like, we could never send them to Chicago ever unless we got Taves, and even then that wouldn't even work. So it's definitely going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a very challenging GM mode. but that's kind of where I'm at, guys. So this is going to be a legit GM mode. We're going to do probably 10 years, and I'm down for a 2 to 3 year rebuild. It's okay. It's okay to suck for a few years. The Hawks and the Penguins were awful for a few years, and then look at them now. Stanley Cups and some of the best players in the whole world. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know that was kind of a rant on how terrible the Canucks are, and it kind of has to happen. We have to do a rebuild. The city of Vancouver does not like losing, and I understand that. Trust me, I want a winning team just as much as the next guy. But when you have when you have the cards that you're dealt here in aging superstars, you're not really left with a whole lot of room. So we're gonna hopefully find a way to make this team a winner again and bring a Stanley Cup to Vancouver, because you know what, we deserve it. We deserve a Stanley Cup after losing to the Bruins. I don't even want to talk about losing to the Bruins, actually. But welcome to the Vancouver Canucks organization. As our GM, we're expecting big things from you over the next 3 years of your contract. I am expecting you to win at least 36 games out there this season to keep your employment. I'm honestly not worried about the GM firing. I turned it off. You know what? Getting 36 wins isn't really a huge deal for me. I'm not really going to worry about it because I have the GM firing off, and let's get this thing underway. So I'll probably get the preseason done. Maybe we'll get 1 month of simulation completed, but definitely who I want to scout is I want to go to the America. I want to go to America. I definitely want to go to the States, and I want to scout Austin Matthews for the next 6 weeks. So we're definitely going to go ahead and do that, because Austin Matthews is a player we could potentially get in the draft. I'm not too worried about that, but there is some superstars here in this GM mode. You got Jack Eichel. You obviously got Connor McDavid there in Edmonton. So we are going to see a lot of stars in this GM mode, and hopefully have some stars on our team to where we can bring a Stanley Cup to the wonderful city of Vancouver. We're going to get the preseason underway here. We're 1-1-1. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the preseason at all. Once the regular season starts, it can either go one of two ways. I'll be happily surprised if you make the playoffs. I won't be angry if you don't. So I think our owner, the Aquilinis, they understand where we are. They understand what kind of team we are, and I think they're prepared for a rebuild as well. So again, we're going to get the first month of simulation done. It's only like 8 or 9 games, but I am so happy to be back on Legacy. This is so much fun. This is where GM gets enjoyable for me. I cannot wait to start this off, and I cannot wait to hear your guys' opinions on it. But let's go. First period, first game against the Calgary Flames, and Daniel Sedin, of course, gets the only goal in the first period. Period number 2, 1-1, Mason Raymond, the ex-Canuck, and Brandon Sutter gets 2 goals, and we get our first victory of the year. So again, the simulation engine could be crazy. I've seen teams that have aging superstars that go on and win the cup in their first year, and yeah, that's all great, but I don't think that's really that realistic. So regardless, I'm gonna do again 20 to 30 games, and then maybe after the 20 game mark we'll completely blow up the team and just hashtag tank for Matthews. But it's really gonna be up to you guys. You guys are gonna be a huge part of this GM mode, as you always are, and we are 2-0-2. Again, much like the Canucks in real life, cannot get the extra point in overtime. I think we have like 8 or 9 overtime losses already, and I mean, we're just terrible this year. So I'm not expecting big things from the Canucks this year, but Brandon Sutter, 8 points in his first 6 games, and we get tooled 5-2 against the Edmonton Oilers. Got our first regulation loss, 3-1-2. But again, I'm really not looking... Ooh, 8-2 loss. That's the kind of Canucks that I know. That is what I'm kind of hoping happens right now, so we can just... Oh, shit, I totally forgot to send Jake Virtanen and Jared McCann down. So, well, you know what? We'll give them the 3 games. We'll give them 3 more games of NHL experience, and then we will go ahead and send them down. So, ooh, a first and a second for Ryan Miller. Oh, Florida. What do you... Oh, boy. Okay, hold on here. We get Florida's first. It doesn't really make sense, though, to send... they already have Luongo. I don't know why they would want Luongo and Miller. That'd be hilarious, though. We alleviate $5.8 million of cap space, and we get what could potentially be a high overall pick and a second. Oh, that's a second for 2017. I'm going to remember this trade, and if you guys can let me know in the comments, but I don't think we're going to make any trades as of right now. We're going to hang paying off. That's weird that Florida would want Ryan Miller. I don't really understand that. But Daniel and Henrik leading our team in scoring, as they usually do. Look at Jimmy Benn has 10 goals already. Oh my god. And we're going to end off this month with a 3-0 win against the Arizona Coyotes, which is obviously nice. But looks like the Bruins acquired Chris Neal from Ottawa. Kind of a cool trade there. Oh my god. The Edmonton Oilers signed free agent Olli Jokinen. Oh my god. That talk about getting a vet for your young guys. Oh, enjoy him in Edmonton. Jesus. Alright, so we are 5th in our Pacific Division. Obviously, not going to worry about it right now. It's only the first 11 games, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Jamie Benn has 12 goals. Holy crap. Assists, points, we're not even close to being up there, and doesn't even matter for any of that. So that's going to be the first month. What I got to do right now is I got to go ahead and send down the kids. I totally forgot about that. I was just way too excited here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to send the kids down to the juniors. You're going to go all the way back to Sault Ste. Marie, and Jake Vertanen, you're going all the way back to Calgary. And we're going to call up Kennens, and we're going to call up Lyndon Vey. So that is how our team's going to be looking as of right now. Burrows, Higgins, yeah, it's fine. I actually kind of want to play Hansen up here because I like Hansen more than I like Alexander Burrows. So that's probably how that's going to look. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad, but when you think 2 years down the road, none of these guys will be here because they're either be in an old age home because they're going to be too old, they're going to be retired, and Ryan Miller is going to be retired as well, or 38 years old and be like 81, 82 overall. So that's kind of my take on the Canucks for what my plan is. We're going to take this one really slow. It's not going to be, we're not going to completely win a cup in year 2 or anything like that. But my goal is to completely rebuild the franchise and completely turn the city of Vancouver around, because we're losing fans, man, left and right. We're dropping like flies. So that is going to be it for me, guys. Here is throughout the first 11 games. Brandon Sutter's actually playing amazing. Chris Higgins, there you go. Daniel Sedin, 5 helpers. Horvat, 5 points. There everything is. Verbata, only 4 points there, playing on the first line. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you're excited for this GM mode. So there's how the kids did throughout their first 11 games. But I want to apologize for not finishing the Montreal Canadiens GM mode. I know a lot of people were upset about that. But, legacy is where it's at. I'm passionate about this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Trust me, it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to do this. So again, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think we should do with this team. You guys are going to be a huge, huge part of this. I'm not making a move until I hear from you guys. So that's it for me, and I'll see you guys in episode number 2. So quickly before I head out, I quickly want to show you guys what I did with the Vancouver Canucks in 5 years. I sat down the other night for like 4.5 hours and completely rebuilt this team. So I'm not going to go into each individual player, but there it is. That's pretty sick. I got this guy. He's just unreal, man. George Dingle, what a guy. He's honestly so good. But I love rebuilding team. I think it's going to be awesome to rebuild teams, especially if we can somewhat get it like this. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys, once again, and this is exactly what I want the Canucks to be like. Have a few years of being absolutely terrible. You can quickly have a look here. The statistics, we were terrible for 4 years, and then we got into the playoffs. We're probably going to win the cup this year. 110 points, absolutely killing it. So you're going to have to struggle for a while, but I can promise you it'll definitely be worth it. I'll see you guys in the next episode.